Welcome to the RWTA Chilled Out series. This is where we get together with different people in our sector to discuss all manner of cold chain topics. And more importantly, it gives you the opportunity to stop for a second with a cup of tea and a biscuit and catch up on our sector's news. Now, for those that I have not yet had the pleasure to meet, I'm Marianne from the RWTA. I have with me today Matt Reiffel from SecondBite. Now, Matt is a familiar face in the cold chain, and many of you will know him already. So great to see you again, Matthew.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a true pleasure. You're now the Victorian State Manager for SecondBite. I must ask, as I need to clarify a couple of things, how does SecondBite and Fareshare work together?
Yeah, no problem. That's a good question. It's been out there a little bit. It's been a couple of months now, but from the SecondBite side of things, we rescue surplus food. So we are basically moving away as much as we can from the word waste to surplus food. So, could be short date code or things like that. But we work with manufacturers and retailers and growers and governments and peak bodies, such as yourself in the RWTA. We rescue edible food that's basically headed towards a landfill otherwise. So this year we've had, over 1,500 donors year to date. And we've redirected 23 million tonnes away from landfill as an organisation across Australia. And we're able to get that out to our charity partners and people like that so that they can get it into the hands of the people that really need it. We have warehouses in most major cities. So we're in
Yes.
WA, South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland. And then from the Fareshare side of things, so they were previously someone that we would be giving food to. So whether it's proteins or fruit and veg, they operate 2 commercial kitchens that are, running basically 6 days a week. And that's up in Brisbane and in Melbourne. The new refurbed kitchen in Melbourne is actually the largest charity kitchen in Australia. And they put out about 5,000 ready to eat meals a day.
Wow.
So we merged in July 1 of this year. So now we're really, sort of able to strengthen our output. We rescue the food from the SecondBite side of things and we pump it through the kitchens and we're able to make the meals, and then back into the SecondBite side of things with our logistics ability, we're able to get that out into the people that need it. So.
That's incredible. I just the amount of food that you're actually pushing out just astounds me. And on that, tell me more about the food wastage in Australia and food insecurity in Australia in 2024.
Yeah, so from a food insecurity side of things, the general statistic is 1 in 3 are facing some form of food insecurity. Now it sounds like quite a lot, and it really is. But the food insecurity side of things is a spectrum. So it goes from people needing to make a choice of, do I buy this protein versus this protein? Do I go out for dinner today, or, do I try and eat at home a little bit more? That goes down to choosing food that's less nutritional. So, you might be just getting a bit of takeaway or something like that rather than a home-cooked meal.
Yeah.
It goes down to parents skipping meals so that they can feed their kids or, pay the bills. Or that can go right down to going a day without eating or not knowing where your next meal is coming from. So.
Too horrifying to even think about. So, here's the question. We're from the RWTA. How can refrigerated warehouses and transport companies help?
Oh, it's definitely a side of things where, they can speak to their customers, or if they own any of the stock that, whether it's just labeled incorrectly or the date code is too short to be able to go to a retailer or go out into the general marketplace, or say that it's an export product that the container got cancelled and they don't have a buyer or anything like that. Yep. This is where we can come into it. You can talk to us in any of the states and we can sort of, really try and rescue that food and put it to good use. It's also the contacts that everyone has and being able to, potentially say to one of their friends or to someone else they know, saying, hey, do you know about the work that SecondBite and Fareshare do nationally? And,
Yes.
If there's any opportunity to push some of that through their network, then that'd be great. If we look at what we send as a country to landfill each year, there's just over 7.5 billion kilos of food each year goes to landfill, and probably 70% of that's edible. And it's definitely not a funnily enough sort of thing, but Australia produces 3 times the amount of food that the country needs each year, and yet we've got such a large food insecurity piece. It's crazy how that can happen, but some of it's knowledge, some of it's access or awareness of companies like ourselves and OzHarvest and Food Bank and people like that. But yeah, the ability to get it to us, and then we can go to work with trying to get it into the hands of the people that need it. So.
Yeah. And, it's the lucky country, and we're still the lucky country, but things need to change to ensure that, to think that, parents are going without meals, that there are children that go to school without lunches or even having had breakfast is just sickening. Look, Matthew, thank you for your time and taking the time to be interviewed today. Let's catch up in the year ahead and speak more about this important topic. And I ask everyone out there, if you would like to know more, I can put you in touch with Matt or your state representative. And just let's make the best of everything that we've got within the cold chain to make sure that nothing goes to waste.
Yeah, thank you very much. Any of the state managers or any of the broader team would be more than happy to speak to anyone.
I will be passing them along. Thank you so much, Matt. Good to see you.
Thanks, you too.